Hello patrons and future patrons. So in January on Patreon we looked at recording studio setups, looked at soundproofing. You can see behind me some DIY soundproofing, doing soundproofing on a budget. I'm slowly setting up the small home studio room in our spare room where I can do future recordings. Also in January, the band archive looked at Novastar, which was my band with Kevin Wood, James Harvey and Steve Russell, although we did have quite a few drummers. Roger, a Canadian guy who was also a drummer. But we looked at that band, and a couple of our recordings, our EPs, were exclusively put onto Patreon. And also looking at sound collage, sampling and field recordings. Now some of the Patreons have already sent me some field recordings. I'm still looking for more field recordings, and then we're going to put these together into a sound collage. So we looked into the history behind that and looked into the techniques as well of what equipment to use for field recordings and on location recordings. Now the weather's been a bit crappy and we've been in a third lockdown, so I haven't got as much of that as I'd hoped to get done. But hopefully this month, February, we'll roll into a bit more of that as things open up slowly and the weather gets a little better. So, moving into the future, we're looking at Annabelle, my first ever band, and the comedy that ensued with that first band. We've all got to start somewhere, I suppose, and I started there. Also, further into the studio setup, looking at the actual equipment that I'm going to be using to make the recordings, mix the recordings, and some of the setup behind that. Also, as I say, look more into some field recordings and put things together. I'm also demoing. My Patreons voted for which demo to do, and the album Take is the first one. I'm going to demo all the others as well, which I'll slowly put on Patreon, but this month I will be dropping an exclusive demo of my album Take on Patreon. So if you feel like joining, sign up today at patreon.com/Tim Holhouse. Be excellent to each other. Thank you so much, patrons. Thank you so much, future patrons.